So I want us to enter the coaching session because I know you're preparing to meet investors tomorrow. So I'm going to be sharing ideas with you on what I think they're going to ask you, and I'm going to try to help you to answer these questions. And then, as I told you, this call is being recorded, and you could then listen to the call and prepare yourself, and you could read the two documents we made for you. Is that okay, Miss Day?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, great. So I'm going to mute you before I get ahead because there's some background noise. Then I'm going to, so don't mute yourself. Let me mute you and let me unmute you. When I want you to answer a question, I'm going to unmute you. Okay, let's go ahead. So basically, if you're seeing my screen, which I imagine you should be seeing now, if you see a blue box and kind of a yellow box. Are you seeing my screen, Miss Day?
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, and the way investors are are looking at you is very simple. So there are two major things they are looking at, right? As a matter of fact, there are three. The first thing they are looking at is the very first and important thing they are looking at is you, the entrepreneur, because what they want to invest in is you, right? So if you have a great idea and then you don't come across to be confident, you don't come across to be somebody who fights or who can really make things happen, you don't come across to be like somebody who is persistent, who can endure, right? Even if your idea is great, even if your marketing seems to be great, they wouldn't invest in you. So you have to speak, uh, you have to give them an impression that you as a person is, you as a person has the ability to withstand the amount of pressure that comes with driving a business to profitability. So that's the first thing. And to be honest, after speaking with you a couple of times, I would say I personally was rather impressed at your personal traits, the way you express yourself, and you seem to really have a passion for it, right? Because when things go bad, it is actually the passion that is going to keep you. The next thing they are going to try to look at is if you really if you're really solving a problem, right? Solving a problem. So actually, people pay money to people who solve problems for them, right? So if you're telling investors to invest in a business, they want to be sure that you are going to actually provide value to people's life. That and by the way, providing value would mean that with respect to the people you're going to provide value, they think that you are going to provide value. And the second thing is that the competitors, your competitors, are not providing exactly the same value, right? Or if they do, then you should be able to prove that there is something different, that you have a unique value proposition, right? That actually is worth selling, right? So that's very important. And the last time we spoke, I was also personally convinced that your idea of selling soul food, your idea of saying there's a lot of junk food out there, it's not healthy. People want to eat food that is prepared like homemade food, right? And all what they get is this junk food. This is unique, and a lot of businesses are not spending energy and time on this, and people want this, right? And you've proven this by having a couple of customers, right? So in that case, I'm going to move to the third thing, which people will be interested in, is is it a business, right? And that is you could have a great idea, you could have a mindset of solving an absolutely excellent problem. Uh, if you have this idea, this great idea, and you're solving this problem, but you are unable to to figure out a business model, right? You're unable to make it work like a business, right? Then investors wouldn't invest in you, because all what they are interested in is in a return of investment. And to be able to drive a return of their investment, you have to be able to drive business value, which means you have to be able to drive revenue, and you have to be able to be profitable, right? So if you cannot prove to them that one, you can drive revenue, two, you can be profitable, and three, that your profitability can be sustained, which means uh, your profitability can be consistent, not like just farming and favor and just counting the log, or I have 10 customers today, tomorrow I have one, and the next week I don't have any, and so on. They want to be sure that you can do that, and they would really be strict on that, right? So I'm going to leave this introduction and move directly into the meat, right? Now, what they will be interested in from a value proposition standpoint, the very first questions they are going to ask you is they're going to try to find out, right? First of all, the way you pitch will give them an impression of your personality, the way you talk, the way you carry yourself, the way you position your words. You have to come across as a salesperson, not as not as a car or an old car salesperson, but you have to come across as somebody who can sell the business to them. Because if you cannot sell the business to them, they wouldn't trust you to be able to sell the products of the business to other people, right? Okay, but secondly, they want to understand if really your value proposition is solving a unique problem, and if really the problem is a problem which people are buying. And so they are going to ask you questions like, uh, what is it that you're doing differently from other people in the marketplace, right? What is it that you're doing differently from other people in the marketplace? In one of the documents which I sent you, I did, yes, summarize this based on the discussion you and I had. I did summarize this for you, and you can take a closer read. Let me scroll back to that, right? I started it by a story, and my advice is, if they ask you that question, answer it, and I bet you they're going to answer it by starting a story. Talk about some individual, talk about somebody. So I have that here. Yes. So junk and unhealthy food is all over the place. Maybe you should talk about some woman or some man who is your target customer, who works and is very busy and cannot cook their food, but also still wants to enjoy homemade food, right? But unfortunately, what they find is like what you cited in your document: Domino Pizza, McDonald's, and all of this junk food, which is not good for their health, right? And so they don't have somebody to solve this problem for them. Make the unique value proposition human. Attach it to somebody, even give the person a name, right? And then tell them how your business is going to solve this problem. And here I said your business is going to solve the problem by providing soul food, right? Food that is made like homemade food, and that is delivered to them, right? And this is what you are proposing. And based on your competitor analysis, you have to tell them that, and you tell them that you can give them you can give them the document, the marketing document I made for you, that based on on your competitive analysis, you can conclude that there is really no one person in this marketplace in your city who is providing exactly this soul food, who is approaching the feeding of people, be it in catering or providing the meals from the angle which you're providing, right? You have to be able to convince them that you are doing this as a business, right? So if they are convinced at that stage, the next thing they want to know from you is then, what is your target, right? What is your target as a business? How much money are you planning to earn in a month? How much money are you planning to earn in in a year? They want to know, because you need to have that in mind. You need to have a target, a number, and you should be able to give them a number. Now, that's when it becomes tricky. I'm going to write that down. You have to be able to give them a number. So uh, you have to be able to give them a number. If you have any questions, you can type. If you want to stop me, you can type a number, and you have to be able to defend that number. So why are you giving the number? So maybe we should spend some time here, Mrs. Day. Last time you gave me the number of $100,000. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have to be able to
I
tell
want.
the. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Miss Dave. Miss Day, please.
Yeah, I would like to start with that.
Oh my God. Just go ahead. Even though your 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 sound quality is quite poor, but just go ahead. Let me try to see if I can hear you.
Yeah, that number is correct.
Yeah. Okay. The 100,000 is correct for the first year, right?
Yeah.
What? How do you? What are you basing these numbers on?
I'm basing the numbers on. I'm basing the numbers on the supplies that's going to be needed, the equipment that I'm gonna have to use that will be needed, and the quantity as well as the quality of the number of times that I will have to use it.
Okay. My God, the sound quality is really terrible. I don't know what we can do to solve this. Well, but I heard you are basing the numbers on the fact that you are asking them to invest so you can have equipment that can enable you supply to that scale. Am I correct?
Correct.
Yeah, but that's excellent. Now another thing you have to add to that is that you are presently selling. You have to tell them that at the moment I'm selling this amount per month, right? So how much are you selling per month at the moment?
Per month at the moment, this month I was able to make $600.
Okay, so you're making $600. So you have to tell them that okay, already at this point in time where you have not scaled up the business, you are making a revenue of $600 per month, and you have to explain to them how the new machines will make you drive $600 per month to an annual value of $100,000 a year. So what are the machines going to do? Are they going to make you produce more in less time? If yes, do you have an approximate rate? Uh, do you have an approximate production rate which the machines are going to enable you to reach that will then enable you to produce to that number?
Not at the moment.
Okay, but you know that they're going to want to know that, right? They would really want to know exactly how many. So this is what they want to know. They want to know how many plates are you selling at the moment, right? How many? How many plates are you selling at the moment, and how many are you going to sell if you got an investment? Am I clear? And you need to have that in numbers, because if you're asking for money of investment, you need to be able to tell the person from whom you're asking the money the person whom you're asking to invest. You need to be able to tell the person, right, that at the moment I'm making 10 plates, right? And I would be able to make, say, 100 plates based off the money you're going to provide to me. You have to be precise with those numbers. So my advice is after this meeting, you should really maybe sit and think. Maybe you should ask somebody who is using those machines how many plates they are making. Now, to complete that, uh, there would okay. So that's from the supply standpoint. What about from the demand standpoint? What if you're making these meals and nobody is buying them? So how are you going to show them that you are going to sell, that you are going to sell as much as you produce? Now I put it in that document for you, Mrs. Day. You are going to tell them that you are going to use the internet to drive a lot of traffic, targeted traffic and conversion to the business. And at the moment, from what you told me, you are driving approximately 6 leads per day, right? 6 leads per day. So if you were to pay for advert on Facebook, for example, it could enable you to drive even more targeted traffic to the business, right? So again,
Right.
you have to approach this question from two sides. One, from the supply standpoint, like you're doing, like you're saying that, you know what, if I got more money, then I would be able to produce more in less time, right? That's one thing, and you need to give the numbers. And the second part, the second way you're supposed to approach this is, yes, I'm going to be able to supply, but from a sales standpoint, look, I'm going to use the internet to get more people on the business. And by the way, to prove that, I am already able to drive using just organic, right? Using just organic methods without paying for advertising. I'm already able to drive a certain amount of leads, which encourages me, which tells me that if I had your investment, I could spend a little more money on Google AdWords, I could spend a little more money on, or I could spend some of that money on Facebook ads, and I will get very good leads coming to me at a cheap cost. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So remember that question, and I'm happy we're recording this. So after that, now after answering that question, of the target and how you are going to reach this target, the next thing they want to see is how much money do you spend on your sales, cost of sales. So as a matter of fact, they will be interested in how much money do you actually spend to get a customer on board, and they will be interested in how much money you spend to deliver, right? And from the numbers you gave me, at the moment you're spending $5 to deliver here. You should be able to give that number. You should be able to tell them that for a plate which I sell for $12, I'm spending $5, which is really, really a very good margin in the front end. In the front end means I have not yet taken out money. Well, in this case, in the back end, sorry, because back end means I've taken out all the money I'm going to spend. But let me ask you a question, Mrs. Day. The $5 you're talking about at the moment is the mechanical $5. Will the machine improve this amount? Do you think that acquiring the machines is going to improve the amount you spend per, the amount you spend in creating or in manufacturing a meal?
Yeah.
Okay, and how much do you think that would be? So are you going to move from $5 to say $3 or to $4? How much are you anticipating that is going to be?
I would say $3.
You said $3. Okay, so you tell them at the moment I have a cost of production and delivery of $5. If you invest in me, I'm going to be able to push this down to $3. That would mean $12 averagely minus $3. That is $9. That's a reasonable amount of money. And you can tell them that, okay, in that $9, I could comfortably spend $2 to $3 right here. I could comfortably spend $2 to $3 to get a customer on board, because if you're really targeting the right customers, you could spend $2 to $3, right, to get customers on board. You will still have so yeah, you take it. Let's take away the $5. No, let's take away the $3. Then we're left with nine, and if we take away $3, we're left with $6, right?
Yeah.
So then you can say, okay, that $6 is going to cover taxes, miscellaneous, and all other costs. And maybe at the end, you're planning to have maybe $4 left, right? $4 left, and that $4 is the money you want to share with the investors. So you should be, and the investors wouldn't mind if these numbers are not very precise, to be honest, but they would want you to be able to talk the numbers the way I'm talking. They want to see if you have a picture of the fact that you have to optimize your business on the production from a production standpoint with numbers. So you don't just want to tell them, I'm going to have a machine which is going to improve. No, you should say the machine is going to make me spend, instead of $5 per plate, I'm now going to spend $3 and or $3, and I'm going to also I'm going to also do that in less time, right? And also, if I get investment, I'm going to spend $3 on the sales side per customer to get a customer on board. And when I get them on board, I'll be left with this amount. So they'll ask you what will be the margin, right? The next question now would be what will be the margin. But if you answer this question well, the question of what will be the margin would not even occur, right? They will be interested in knowing the margin on this blue side and the margin on this yellow side. And when you put both margins together, they'll be interested in knowing the net profit of your business.
So I would say $5 to $3 for the
Yes,
cost.
yes,
Okay, and I'm saying because I'm delivering it well, but on the back end of it, I'm really making five,
pardon
and so
please.
I will invest. Oh, go ahead.
Wait a minute. Yeah, go ahead, Miss Day, please.
I'm willing to invest, even though I'm coming out with the possibility of $2 to $3. I'm willing to invest my $3 back into you guys to help me to continue to expand, to grow.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got
So yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, you could tell them that. Well, okay, yes, the $2 you're going to get off the fact that they have invested, you're going to want to use this to plow back into the business to improve it even further, right?
right.
Okay.
I'm
So
willing to continue to invest. I just need, like the basic start. And I had to come up with some kind of number because, who I'm impressing tomorrow is, like low key, and all they saying is, sis, give me your stuff, bring it to me. I'm gonna bring my boys, and just have your stuff together. We're gonna do brunch and be done, and you know,
yeah, I got it. I got it. So we got that point clear. Okay. Now the next question they are going to try to know from you, and this is what I urge you to do, is if you tell them that your cost of sales is going to be $2 to $3, the next question is they are going to try to understand your business model, right? So they're going to try to understand how you really want to make the business profitable. In the business plan, in the marketing plan, we explain to you, and please use these numbers to explain to them that if you were trying to sell, right, if you were trying to sell just products like per plate, it's going to be it's going to be so difficult to be profitable, right? But the way you want to grow, I put it here if you're watching my screen, is you would grow by acquiring new customers, but most importantly, you are going to earn more revenue from existing customers. Yes,
yeah.
absolutely, from existing customers, right? So don't forget this. Make them know that you master marketing and that you master your business model. So your business model is going to have funnels, right? And you can read this in the marketing plan which we gave you. And these funnels will enable you to earn more money per customer. So I put forward some matrices which you are going to tell them about. The first matrix which you should, explain to them if they give you the time is, even if you don't explain to them, Mrs. Day, it's very important you use these technical terms because it's going to make them understand that you've spent some time thinking the business model and thinking about the marketing of the business. Are you getting me?
Okay. Okay.
So
I
one,
understand that.
yes, go ahead. Yeah, okay. One of those numbers you want to talk to them about is the lifetime value of the customers. So you're going to tell them the way you're going to expand in the business and grow revenue and profit is not just trying to find new customers, but you're going to try to figure out the lifetime value of your customer in order, right, to, if you increase the lifetime value of your customer, it means you want a customer to stay with you for longer, which means your business becomes more profitable, but most importantly, your business will be there for life, right? So if I'm your customer and you have strategies that can keep me coming back into the business, then I have a high lifetime value. So you're going to tell them that your way of working, right, of working on this is by ensuring a high lifetime value of the customer. That's the first one. The next, uh, uh, the next matrix you will want to talk to them about is, and by the way, all of these matrices are talking about how you're going to market, right? How you're going to market your product, how you're going to do this portion of the business. Let me open another slide. So you want to tell them how you're optimizing this part of the business. Because Mrs. Day, one of the things that sucks up profit from a business is actually the sales process, right? The sales process. So you want to show them that you master how to optimize the sales process. Okay. The next thing you want to show them that you master is the customer retention rate, right? It's very related to the lifetime value of the customer, but the retention rate would mean if I bought from Miss Day today, right? Am I going to buy from her tomorrow, right? Am I going to buy from her after tomorrow? And the rate would mean how many customers actually come back, right? And you're going to tell them the strategies that you're going to use: Facebook, email marketing, all these new technologies, and talk to them about that. Tell them that you know about email marketing, you know about social media marketing, and you're going to try to make sure that people who've bought from you are getting new emails about your new offers, are getting new emails about how you innovate in the business to keep them warm and to make them available, and to make them come back to the business, right? Because that's important to to make the business profitable, and that's important to make the business stay alive. So I wrote things like, you can plan an email campaign where you send email to just say thank you to people who purchase for the first time, right?
And
To
I
make,
also send them business cards, thanking them.
yes, absolutely, thanking them. So if you thank them, then it could make them to stick around, right?
Right. I get them thank you cards. I have a
Absolutely.
thank you card that I get. And they'll say something.
Okay, okay, yes, absolutely. So please, Miss Day, you have to read this because I took time to write this out. You have to convince them that you are able to market in this manner, right? So that's why you see
Okay.
me putting this in black. So it's very important that you give them a feeling that you understand marketing and that you understand how the idea of making your business work well is not just driving new customers, because they are going to try to trap you with that, because they are going to try to ask you how you do that, because they know that if your business is just based on getting new customers, it's very expensive to get new customers. It's actually cheaper to sell to your available customers than to sell to new customers. So I'm not saying that you should not get new customers, but you have to make the investor understand that you are going to try to find a threshold value between getting new customers and and keeping the old customers happy and buying more from you, right?
Right.
The next value or the next strategy you're going to tell them you're applying at the front end or from a sales standpoint is what we call average value. Average value, right? Average order value. The average order value, right, is, let's say I come to the restaurant where Miss Day is, or Miss Day delivers me a meal. Now, if I'm paying $12 for the meal, is Miss Day smart enough to study my behavior and make sure instead of spending $12 that during that purchase I'm spending say 15, $20? I don't know if you get a point. If they has a strategy of not just selling that plate for $12, but maybe proposing a dessert to me, I don't know, maybe proposing a drink to me, or something that is going to make me spend more money every time I'm buying, right? You want to make the
Right.
investor know that you understand that.
And what
Just go ahead, please, Miss Day.
I have, like the dessert and um, an extra side if they, prefer, things of that nature, for them to, continue, for the, so they won't obligate themselves to a $15 plate.
Absolutely.
I'll try to, get them a little extra or suggest, something to them to that nature where they will be accommodated for that part.
Absolutely, Miss Day. And
So I'm always, saying stuff like that.
okay, but I have a question to that. How are you going to automate that? Are you going to have them order? Because if you have them order on your website, it'll be very interesting if you can automate that process, right? Then it becomes even cheaper to you that for every additional unit you're selling to them, you already paid marketing. You already covered the marketing cost for them to come on board, and any additional purchase they're doing goes directly to your bottom line, right? It goes directly to your bottom line because then you don't have to pay any money for advertising, right?
Right.
Okay, you have to be able to articulate that, right? Then the other metrics which you have to be able to articulate is the customer acquisition cost. Now, this is talking about the cost, right? The other three metrics I talked to you about formally were more focused on the revenue. So you have to be able to show them that you can drive revenue, but not only you can drive revenue, but you can drive revenue in a profitable, consistent manner. Right, Miss D?
Okay.
Let me repeat that. You have to be able to prove to them that you can drive revenue, but you have to be able to prove to them that you can drive revenue on a profitable and consistent manner. And to drive revenue in a profitable, consistent manner, you need to have a high lifetime value of a customer. You need to have, just as I've shown here, you need to have a high average order value. Like you said, instead of having somebody spend $12, that they're spending 20. Sorry, I beg your pardon, $15, and you need to also have a high customer retention rate, right? Now, that is how you get revenue. Now, on the other side, the way you spend money to get the customers, the way you spend money to get the customers is called the customer acquisition cost, right? So, this is what they're going to ask you. They're going to ask you, how much do you spend to get a customer on board, right? You should be able to answer this question with a number. And when you answer this question with a number, they are going to take that number and compare it with the revenue you drive per customer, and they're going to see what is left for you. So if, for instance, a customer spends $50 on the business, and the cost of acquiring the customer is $45, you can see that all what is left for you is $5. So you want to prove to them that you master this metric. That's the first thing. You know about this metric. You know about the fact that there is a customer acquisition cost, and you are going to work in order to reduce this customer acquisition cost. I have put a number of ideas here for you of how you can do that, and you should talk to them about that. one thing you can do is you can calculate how much it costs to acquire customers via online channels, right? Say, how much does it cost me to actually acquire customers via social networks, paid ads, and so on, right? Then you calculate what is the lifetime value we get per customer from these channels. When you do that, so what are you doing? You're comparing how much money am I spending to get a customer? What is the lifetime value of that customer? When I know that value, then I can concentrate on the customers that bring me higher return. That's the first thing. It can make me concentrate on the customers that bring me higher return, right? Focus on them, do more upsells to them, maybe find out the different types of dessert they need, find out the different type of additional meals they need, find out the different type of the diversity of meals I can provide to them. Focus my marketing more around them. And the second thing I can do is that I can eliminate the channels, the marketing channels that are costing me high money, right? If print media is costing me high money, I could maybe reduce the amount of marketing money I'm putting on it. If I'm doing TV, right, I would say, well, why should I go and pay so much money on TV when I can get a reasonable amount of of leads on Facebook? So you should be able to really talk about this very comfortably, and with numbers, basically. So I think with this, it's not supposed to be too complicated, right? With this, the next question now they will try to ask you is how do you value your business? So, Mrs. Day, I want to ask you a question. Why are these people going to invest in you? Are you going to give them a part of your business? Hello, Mrs. Day.
Yes, I'm here. I said no.
Oh, so why are they going to invest? Are they a bank?
Did you say, will I give them part of my business? Is
Yeah.
that what
What,
you
what
said?
what is their motivation in investing in you?
Yeah. I would give them part of my business. Yes.
Okay. So my question to
Yes.
you now is
I did.
how much are you going to give them?
I would give them probably 10%.
So how much money do you? So that's very important. So how much money? So that's a very important point. Let me write that down here. I think you're still seeing my screen. Are you, Miss Day?
Yeah.
So you're going to give them 10% of the business in return for how much? How much how much money are they supposed to give you to get 10% of your business?
That's a tricky question. Hold on, let me think. You
Yeah.
got me on that one. Hold on.
Yeah, let me hold on, please. Just go ahead.
All right, what do you think? Help me out with that one. I can't get that one.
Okay, you can't
I
get it.
don't.
How much money do you need? How much money do you need?
I need.
Miss Day, you know this question, you're not supposed to be like, I need in front of the investors, right?
I know. I know. I am truly sorry. I'm together. I'm with it. Okay. I would need 50,000.
Okay, 50,000. So $50,000. So if you tell them to give you $50,000 for 10% of the business, so what you're saying to them is that 10% of your business is 50,000. So we need to find 100% of your business. What is it? Right? So it means you're valuing your business. I'm going to do that calculation for you now. It means that you're valuing your business at, so we just need to do, you're valuing your business at X. So we just need to do 10 times X. So let me do that calculation right now. Just give me a moment. I want to show you the value you are giving your business because they are going to be very interested in that. And this will be one of the most key questions. If you're unable to answer these questions, this particular question, they would understand that you don't understand what your business is worth, right? Because you need to know what your
right,
business is worth. If you're giving me 10% of something, then you need to know how much that something is, right, Miss Day?
right.
Okay, so if you
So,
say 10% is what 50,000, so I'm just going to go ahead and say, okay, then I do 50,000 times 100, 50,000 times 100. I just need to add two zeros and divide it by 10. So you're telling them your business is worth $500,000, right? That's what you're telling them. Am I right?
yeah,
So now they're going to ask you, why are you valuing the business at 500,000?
because looking for expansion, growth, restaurant.
Well, if you tell me if I give you 50,000, you're going to give me 10% of my your business. What you're saying is my business at the moment is worth at the moment is worth $500,000, right? So why are you
Yeah,
valuing your company at 500,000?
I guess because I'm more of a visionary of how I want, what I want, and how I
Yeah, but that's not enough.
desire.
That's not enough, Miss Day, because then everybody would say they are a visionary. Everybody
Right,
would claim that they can. I mean, I'm just going to also value my company at $500 million. Yeah, because I'm a visionary. You have to have some things that are concrete in the business. Let me give you an example.
okay,
You have to be able to tell them that, okay, look, this business without your help, this business without any outside investment, this business without any machine, this business without any expenditure on marketing, this business without any expenditure on sales is doing $600 a month, right?
right,
And
right,
that's the first thing. So you can write, so you can already tell them that in the worst case scenario, cash, cash you got, cash that you can get is 600 a year, is 600 times 12, 600 times 10 is 6,000, times 12 is 7,200, right? $7,200. So that's all what your business is worth. So you have to, what assets does your business have now, right? That are now completing the rest of the 400 and something. Another thing you could tell them is you have a customer base. What is your customer base? How many customers do you have?
I have 10 customers.
Okay, you have 10 customers. So you have to be able to tell them, okay, with my 10 customers, so I already have 7,200 right now at the moment. Now with my 10 customers, how much value do my 10 customers drive for me per year? Do you have an approximate value?
No,
Okay, but you have to be able to value your 10 customers. You could say, okay, my 10 customers at the moment. Now, by the way, to calculate the worth of the customers, all what you need to do is just take the total number of customer divided by the total revenue. So 10 divided by 600 would be 0, 0. Oh, so I beg your pardon. 600 divided by 10, I beg your pardon. Your lifetime value of a customer is $60, which is in marketing, this is a very, very huge value because it's a lifetime value, right? So if you scale 60 dollars to a number of customers, so you just need to divide 500,000 by 60,000 to tell them how many customers you are going to acquire based on the investment they are going to put in the business to bring you up to 500,000. Are you getting my argument?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, and is there any other asset that the business has now?
No.
Okay.
Starting from scratch. No.
Okay. So it means the only argument you're going to give is the lifetime value of your customer and the fact that the business is actually selling, which is encouraging, right, Miss Day? Your business is already selling something. Now, do you want to hear my honest? Do you want to hear my honest take on your company valuation?
Yes, sir.
It's very high. Uh, it's very high. So this would be the investors will try. The investors are going to try to give you 50,000 for at least 40%.
Okay.
And that's what you and I have to discuss. You have to plan on the maximum you are willing to give away. And if they
So
give you, yes, go ahead, please.
put put 40% down then. That's fine. Because I need them just as well as they need their return back. So 40% is fair. I was just speculating. I need your opinion and your help. So you
Oh,
enlighten me. So 40% is fine.
okay. So if they give you 40%, let me do the calculation now. If they give you 40%, just that you know, because it's important that you give them an impression that you know about these numbers, Miss Day. So if they give you 40%, it means in our calculations now, give me a second, I'm going to do that calculation. So we are going to have not $500,000 as the value of the business. We are going to have 50,000 times 100 and divided by 40. So we are going to have, so the value of the business will be $125,000. I think, I think from what I've heard from you, uh, that should be the value behind your mind. Now, don't start with 10%. You would turn them off. If I were you, I would start with maybe say a 20%, right?
Okay.
Which means if you start with 20%, it will mean you're valuing the company at 125 times two, so at $250,000. And then they are going to naturally, based on what you've told me now, because if you have a customer lifetime value of $60 and you're making $600 now, you will need, in this case, you will need to divide um, 125,000 by 60. You see that I'm playing with numbers because you have to be able to play with numbers, right? No matter how good you are in the business, in the sales, if you give them an impression that you can't play with numbers, they immediately will run away from you. So if I divide it by
Oh,
60, it means what you're telling them is that you can scale up the customer base to 2,083 customers, right?
okay.
Which
Okay. I'm
which
with you so far.
pardon, come again.
I said I'm with you so far. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, but then you can tell them, well, you don't need to scale that to up to 2,083 customers because then you have this strategy of making each customer pay more money, right? So at the end of the day, that's a bit that's the valuation I think you should give to the company, right? So maybe I think 40% for $50,000 would be reasonable. Now, one of the last question, very important question they are going to ask you is, where are you going to spend this money? What are you going to do with this money if you receive it? What are you going to do with $50,000?
I need the equipment.
How much is the
I,
equipment? So tell me, equipment. You have to be able to tell them what you're going to do with it. So let's write it down. Equipment.
okay, equipment.
How much?
Okay, the stove is 5,000.
$5,000. Yeah. So we are left
The
with
refrigerator,
$45,000. Let's go ahead.
okay, and the refrigerator,
The
refrigerator,
refrigerator. Yeah. How much should that cost?
that costs 10,000.
$10,000. Just give me a
Yep.
second, Miss Day. So $10,000. $10,000. Yeah. So now we are left with $35,000.
Okay. Then you got to have the vehicle to carry the equipment in. I need the utensils.
Yeah.
I need I need the vehicle.
Yeah, the vehicle. How much is that
Uh,
vehicle and the vehicle equipment, right?
yeah,
How much is
is the
that going to
van.
cost you?
The vehicle will cost me another 15.
$15,000. So we are at $30,000. So what are you going to do with the remaining $20,000, Miss Day?
The remaining of the $20,000 will be for the supplies,
Okay.
the food.
Well, but
Okay,
yeah, for the supplies. But are you going to spend $20,000 for supplies?
I'm sure I probably not, but I have to have um, somewhere. I have to have somewhere like to store it, like a closed in,
Okay,
a
so
closed
supply
in.
supply plus storage. But is that going to give
Yeah,
you $20,000? Because then you're not left with anything for marketing, which is very important. And it will freak them out if you give them an impression that you're not going to spend any of that money on marketing.
I do supplies and marketing.
Okay, so supplies and storage and marketing. But how much is going to go for marketing? They
Not
would like to
storage.
know how much you want to spend. Pardon, please.
I said I would just do supplies and marketing, not storage.
Supplies and marketing.
Yes.
But okay, supplies is going to be how much, and marketing is going to be how much. I'm interested in knowing because they would be interested in knowing.
Okay. I'm sorry. Supplies will be about 3,000 because I have to get the pots and everything.
Three
And the
thousand.
market. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and marketing would be this remaining 7,000.
Yes,
Okay,
because I got to get it out there.
absolutely. This looks like a good plan. Now, I'll tell you why investors would be happy with such a plan. First of all, investors like when business people spend their money on fixed asset, on real assets like equipment, refrigerators, cars. You know why?
Why?
Because if the business goes broke, they can come in there and sell and resell the equipment and resell the refrigerator and resell the car and get their money.
All right. And that's great.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
yeah. Now that's the second thing they are excited up to hear is that you're spending their money on marketing because they understand that no matter how if you buy equipment and you're doing so well, but you cannot get targeted the correct customers to buy the product, then you're going nowhere, right?
Fine.
Okay, Miss Day. So basically, I went down all the questions I think they're going to be asking you. This session was recorded. I have the two documents I made for you. So the document which explains your strategy from a business standpoint, and the document which explains your your marketing plan, right? I think if you give them uh, that document, it will give them an impression that you sat down, right, and thought and really gave this a thought. I'm sending these
Right.
two documents on Skype. I'm selling these two documents on Skype uh, right now.
I,
You're going to read them. At what time do you have your meeting, Miss Day?
I have it tomorrow at 11:30.
What time is it now, Miss Dave?
3:09.
I beg your pardon, Miss Day.
3:09.
Oh, 309. So I would be online before 11 your time. If you read the documents and you have a question, you could just ping me and I could answer them. But I think that if you take time and read the documents and you listen maybe to the recording of this call, it should give you a very good argument and standing in front of your investors.
Okay.
Make sure that you master the numbers I told you to master. Make sure that you give an impression that you can stand the business even if it goes wrong. Make sure that you give them an impression that you are not just an entrepreneur, but that you're a business person, which means you can talk in terms of numbers, which means you can calculate your profitability, right?
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
the last thing, make sure you don't give them an impression that you don't have money. You have to give them an impression that what you need is just really to grow the business, and that's why it's very important that you remember these numbers. That you should be able to tell them offhand, not looking at a piece of paper, that I'm going to give out 5,000 for equipment, I'm going to give out 10,000 for refrigerator, I'm going to give out 15,000 for vehicle and vehicle equipment, I'm going to push out 3,000 for supplies and 7,000 for marketing. And look, if I had this money based on what I'm making now, based on my research in the industry, I would be able, if you give me $50,000, I would give you 40%, and this 40% will be worth it because this business would be a real business opportunity. You are going out there to sell them an opportunity. You are not going out there to plead for them to give you money because they are not going to give you money. They want you to prove to them that you have a lifetime opportunity for them, and that's what you are supposed to do, and that's how you're supposed to pitch, Miss Day.
Yes, sir. And I will.
Okay, thank you.
I will.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if you have any other questions for me, but as I said, you could always ping me if you have any questions reading those documents. And I'm going to send you a recording of this call in a few minutes, and you could use this, as you will.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank
Okay,
you.
Miss Day. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming up on this call, and I wish you all the best for this meeting. And kindly bring me the feedback, whatever the feedback is. Yeah, because maybe then we could still have the time to tweak it and then look at another investor. I'm not saying that you're not going to get this, but yeah, but I'll be happy to hear from you.
Okay, now you finna email me this right here, right?
I just dropped it on Skype, but I could email that to you if you want me to do that, Miss Day.
Okay. I'm gonna try to see.
I
Make
dropped it
sure
in
I
the
can.
Skype board. Oh, but yeah, for the recording, I've not yet. I'm sending you the recording now. I'm going to convert the recording and send it to you in 5 minutes.
Okay. Okay. And how many pages is it?
Well, the document that will help you prepare for your business plan is 6 pages, but the marketing document is way above 15 pages. So it will be a good read for you. But it will give you some real time information to talk about during the meeting.
Okay. No, I just wanted to know how many pages to be expecting. That's all. I just wanted to know.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Yeah, it's something more than 15 pages for the marketing plan, and for the business plan is just 6 pages.
Okay. That's cool. That's
Yeah,
cool.
definitely.
All right. Go ahead and send it. And thank you so much for your time and everything.
Thank you very much, Miss Day. I wish you all the best for this meeting.
Thank you. Now we'll call and let you know.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Miss Day. Bye bye.
Thank